terrified of AI making your hard work irrelevant, you desperately want to scale your sales without losing time for whatever you want in your life.
Creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize, creating, reorganize. If you are a new or an aspiring founder of your small business and have no time to waste or really struggle to do your social media marketing, you will enjoy our Creating Reorganized show. In my day job as a psychology professor, I teach my bachelor and master students in real life how to reorganize processes in a goal-directed and future-proof way in companies. And that's what I have done for a living as a former IT strategy consultant. For my own career coaching business on the side, I can only dedicate a fraction of my time because, I prioritize care work for my little children. I face the same or similar challenges like all small business owners. So I applied all my experience and knowledge to create my other video podcast, Postdoc Transformation Show, to streamline my social media marketing and to boost sales of my coaching, e-courses, and affiliate products or services. I strategically capitalize on professional tools to scale my impact according to my vision of life. Listen and subscribe to this Creating Reorganized show so you will learn to do the same for your own business, to build the know, like, and trust factor, and to boost sales of your services or products. Please also ask your business-specific questions because for the next seasons, I envision interview episodes with aspiring and new founders like you if you want to get your Creating Reorganized according to your vision of life. As in every episode, at the end, I will wrap everything up from a psychological method, theory, or concept point of view. So stay tuned until the end of this episode, especially if you are my bachelor and master student in real life. I would love for you to take notes and maybe even already recognize my arguments.
Dear Creating Reorganizer, welcome back to Creating Reorganized, the business promotion video podcast for sustainable growth. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Eleonore Soei-Winkels, and I'm thrilled to be wrapping up an amazing season 2. According to our Podbean statistics, as of recording, we are on our way to 8.5K listeners with just 15 published episodes. Woo! To be honest, I'm a German speaking in English, so I really do appreciate if you are listening from all over the world. Looking at our most resonating episodes, we've covered everything from building trust, episode 1, to seasonal strategies to avoid burnout, episode 4, and finding that sweet spot between human effort and AI. That was episode 9. But now we have to look ahead. You see, the market is changing faster than ever. The biggest threat isn't your competitor anymore. It's the sheer volume of generic content that AI is generating. If you are a business owner, you're already fighting for time, sales, and sanity. And the last thing you need is to feel invisible in the flood of robotic copy-paste content. Google has just announced weeks ago that their search includes AI mode in Germany. Oh my God, we're so behind on the global map. And this episode is your blueprint. It's the ultimate solution for achieving the high return on invest we talked about in episode 11 and doing it without the content burnout we fear. We are diving into the 5-step un-AI-able content strategy that turns your unique personal brand into a true 24/7, 365 sales machine. I think I know why you're here. You're exhausted by the constant hamster wheel, terrified of AI making your hard work irrelevant, and you desperately want to scale your sales without losing time for whatever you want in your life, right? So you want to market your business without constantly trading time for money. And I completely get it. I actually learned the foundation for this strategy the hard way. Not from management textbooks, but actually from my own students in real life over the course of many years. So in my first couple of years as a professor, 11 years ago, that ages me, picture of an academic formality. Mid-40s, cis woman, Chinese descent, Indonesian immigrant in Germany. And all of that was rooted in my times as a student. So there were many occasions when my professors, white, male, old, called me a model immigrant because I conformed. And in my first years as a professor, I kind of fell back to that pattern. I was all about the science. I would give detailed practical examples in my industrial and occupational psychology or biopsychology lectures, but I would fiercely avoid talking about myself. If a student boldly asked me about my personal views or on my journey, I would cringe and say defiantly, the title of that lecture is not Eleonore Soei-Winkels sharing her point of view. But luckily, my amazing students insisted. They told me year after year, we can get the white paper style examples anywhere on the internet, but we want to understand you and your reasoning and your point of view to be able to relate, to be inspired and transformed. So they were teaching me the scarcity principle in real time. They recognized that in a world of infinite content abundance, the one thing truly valuable is my unique, transformed human voice and opinion. And I'm not going to lie. It took me multiple semesters, multiple individual students who finally, in sum, convinced me to shift my thoughts about storytelling, which I totally embrace today. And that shift from giving facts to weaving in my unAIable story is what builds today real connection and inspiration, and therefore transformation. This is the key takeaway for you right now. Your personal branding is exactly that scarce asset your business needs to cut through the AI noise. Everything we do in this 5-step strategy is focused on leveraging that scarcity that is you. Are you ready to stop fearing the AI noise and start using your own voice to sell? If yes, let's dive into the problem we're solving. So let's talk about the villains. The 3 villains you're fighting are, number 1, the content slob. That's generic AI. Then there's number 2, the time thief. That's unproductive effort. And then number 3 is the imposter's gap. The fear that your human effort isn't good enough. And the core internal problem is, how do I get people to truly trust me when they're being bombarded by everything else? So you need to understand the mirror exposure effect. And we talked about this already in previous episode. This psychological principle by Robert Science shows that the more your audience is authentically exposed to your voice, face, and expertise in a non-threatening, helpful way, the more familiar you become to them, which then leads directly to preference and trust. And I see this in my own business all the time. I'm a mid-40s working mom who prioritizes picking up her children and help them in school. Okay, I do that. My time is precious. My goal is to sustain my business on the side, and I need systems that work. Just recently, I had 2 clients. Both are brilliant PhD students and founders of their own startups, and they came back to me. They were already part of the postdoc transformation community, consuming that specific content, and they hadn't initially bought my coaching service for leaping out of science into employment because that was not their goal. But after months of consistent exposure to my ideas and personality, they didn't go shopping around. They came straight back to me to say individually, Anna, I need to learn how to do a business promotion video podcast, and I want to learn it from you only. So that's the power of the mirror exposure effect. The video podcast didn't just market to them once. It acted as a patient 24/7, 365 trust-building agent that automatically qualified them because they already knew what they want. So how can we make this trust happen? We need a plan. I'm going to be your guide, and I combine academic rigor as a professor of industrial and occupational psychology with a real-world strategy I learned as a former IT strategy consultant at Accenture. I know how to build systems that scale. Plus, I have built 2 video podcasts from scratch working my day job as a professor and mom. To be honest, that's the hardest job ever. So I can teach you to become a goal-getter. I'm going to give you the exact 5-step unAIable content strategy, and this is your clear, proven roadmap. So why does this step-by-step plan matter so much? Because of the goal-setting theory by Locke and Latham. Their theory shows that highly specific, challenging, and measurable steps always beat vague intentions. I learned this principle firsthand during my PhD at the International Graduate School of Neuroscience in Bochum, Germany. When I was coding my own experiments, the problem was never the idea. I had endless ideas. But the problem was really translating the theory into a functional system that was scalable across many experiments, across many patients. So I had to write thousands of lines of code. If I had just stared at the screen and said, I need to finish this experiment as a whole, I would have probably drowned in complexity. Instead, I had to break this massive task into tiny measurable chunks that could be, built together on top of each other. So I said, first dim the objects, then the array. Then later, code the stimulus presentation module. Then code the response collection loop. And then, of course, test and debug in seemingly endless nights in my dormitory for my research stay in Manchester, UK. So that was the only way to build something that complex as a working system. And doing it, not reading it. And that's another lesson for my students in real life. And that's why I teach them best by demanding them to work on real-life challenges within our curriculum. But before I digress, I'll come back to you. The same is true for your marketing. That is why we created the 5-step unAIable content strategy. It's the functional code to turn your big, overwhelming business goals into a specific, automated, and successful system. Because your video podcast is your own media. And once that system is humming, everything else, according to the PISO model, earned, paid, and shared media will follow, just like we discussed earlier. Now, for established business owners who are now thinking, this sounds like a brilliant strategy, but I don't have the time to code this system myself, remember, that's exactly why we have created this premium white label done-for-you Creating Reorganized podcasting service. We handle all 5 steps so you can focus on your zone of genius. All right, so what are the 5 steps? The core philosophy of this plan is the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. We want to find the 20% of your effort that drives 80% of the sales. And guess what? That 20% must be your unique human input. Everything else we can automate. Step number 1, the unAIable core hook. So this is the 20% of effort that only you can do. And that is, you must define your own unique philosophy, your origin story, your expertise blend that AI cannot replicate. Think back to my students demanding my point of view. So your point of view is your hook. This is where you weave in together your past experience, whether you are a former accountant turned baker, a neuroscientist turned IT strategy consultant like me, into a story that only you can tell. This core hook fuels every title, every script, and every social media post. Don't worry about the noise. Focus on your scarce asset. Step number 2, the time-protected podcasting schedule. Batch like a boss. Okay? So this step directly combats the burnout we discussed in episode 4 and is where we apply the Pareto principle with force. Your job is to focus your energy on high-quality production, not constant stressed-out publishing. I have a perfect, tangible example of how this applies to you as a business owner. So before I fully embraced AI and automation, editing the rough cut and the final cut of my episodes would take me 4 to 5 times the actual recording time. So if I'm recording 1 hour, I could be editing at least 5 hours. It was a huge 80% time sink. I was staring at sound waves and manually clipping mistakes. Now, thanks to Descript and its AI features, like Edit for Clarity, I confidently offload that tedious labor. Descript is a game changer because of its text-based editing, and I still do the fine cut because that's a strategic enrichment, right? But I'm editing based on the text transcript, not sound waves, which is already an acceleration. And this single strategic shift allowed me to reduce my editing effort to 20% of what it was before. And I'm getting better, cleaner results because AI doesn't get tired like me. I honestly record in the mornings while the kids are at school, like right now. It's daytime, and then I can hit the button, Edit for Clarity and Studio Sound before I leave home to pick up my kids because my computer in Descript finished the rough cuts for me. And that's 80-20 in action. What you can also do is to implement a seasonal strategy, aligning your 20% effort on recording and editing during low demand periods. In my case, that's like when my kids have school breaks or in my lecture-free times, you can publish automatically during peak sale periods because publishing is already something that you can automate. How? Well, for reliable, stress-free publishing, you need a host that supports video and also monetization. I personally use and recommend Podbean. Their platform handles the heavy lifting of distribution to all major podcast players and is built for monetization, ensuring that your valuable content reaches everyone, every time, on autopilot. And the best of all, Podbean and Descript together free up your time and they share an integration. All right, step 3. That's the trust to transaction funnel. And we can mix the content, right? So this step is about structuring your episodes to move your audience from free content to paid offers seamlessly. Think back of episode 6, when we talked about free and paid offers. Your video podcast is your ultimate free content. It builds the trust. The funnel should then guide them to your paid offers. And if that doesn't ring a bell, you can find that episode as linked in the show notes. All right, but essentially, you need to use your video podcast content as a 24/7, 365 pre-selling mechanism. Every episode should solve a small problem, but ultimately point to the biggest solution, your paid product or service. If your core offerings involve courses, group coaching, or any structured educational product, you need a high-quality platform for delivery. I use and recommend Thinkific. It's more than just a place to host your course. It's an AI-powered learning management platform that lets you create, market, and sell e-courses that seamlessly integrate into your funnel. Your video podcast creates the demand, and Thinkific fulfills the supply with a professional, trustworthy product experience. All right, so let's go to step number 4. That is AI as your agent. And this step is about strategically using AI for everything except your core message. All right, so AI's role is not to replace you. It's to be your virtual 24/7 marketing agent. You need to leverage AI tools for distribution, repurposing, analytics, but only for those tasks you don't need to. Just execution, right? So you need to be visible on LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, and all professional networking platforms. Yes. But do you have the time to schedule posts for all of them? No? Well, I don't either. No one has. This is where I rely on Metricool. Metricool is my go-to solution for social media content management and scheduling. It allows me to take my core video podcast content, which is already done thanks to step 2, and schedule all the short-form videos, social clips, carousels, and posts across every social media platform in one go. Metricool is your AI-enhanced agent that handles the distribution so you can live according to your vision of life instead of being chained to your phone or your laptop or computer. It automates the 80% of repetitive content pushing and answering to comments. Step number 5 is your automated lead conversion. That is the trust closer. All right. So your video podcast is a powerful qualification tool. It warms up your leads so much that when they reach out, they are practically ready to buy. And this final step is about capturing and nurturing those qualified leads automatically. Think back to episode 2 on qualifying leads and episode 8 on sales funnels. You need 3 things here: a great way to collect information, a powerful email automation platform, and a seamless connection back to your 24/7 brand. So, do you want dynamic data collection? To qualify leads without the manual effort, you need smart forms, and I use and recommend Typeform. It's fun, dynamic, and easy to integrate, allowing you to ask the right qualifying questions like budget, specific pain points, etc. before you spend time on a one-on-one call. Then you have to have email automation. At least I have it. Once you capture the lead via Typeform, you must nurture them automatically. So I rely on ActiveCampaign. And ActiveCampaign integrates autonomous email marketing, website building, and a customer relationship management tool. It ensures that the trust you build on your video podcast continues into your inbox, sending the right message at the right time, whether you are a scientist, a small business owner, an aspiring founder, regardless where you are awake. ActiveCampaign is the engine that runs your sales funnel 24/7, 365, and they have just released new features And as I am already the client, I cannot wait to play around with that in my season break. So if you want to experience how I test the new features, make sure to join my Creating Reorganized newsletter as linked in the show notes. And this is also the place where you can submit all your questions regarding starting and building your business promotion video podcast, so I can answer them in season 3, taking out the guesswork for me. Taken together, the beauty of this 5-step system is that your personal brand, step number 1, runs the entire machine, steps 2 to 5. I want you to not lose your most precious asset. Now, we must address loss aversion. The scientists and Nobel Prize winners Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky showed that humans are much more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the prospect of gaining something. So what are you currently losing by sticking to an unsystemized marketing plan? I have my own example of this. In my postdoc transformation show, I probably did over 20 interviews by the season 5 finale. And deep down, my gut told me I was wasting my limited time for many reasons. But essentially, it was draining my 20% human effort in a low-yield activity. But I didn't want my feeling to be true. My student consulting group needed a real-life partnership as an emergency, and hence, I let them analyze all my podcasting statistics within Podbean and role-played as their real-life business client. And the result was painful. Their data confirmed my fear. I wish I had listened to my gut and cut the cord earlier. That delay cost me precious hours I could have spent with my family and scaling my core business. That time I lost is the cost of inaction. And you can listen to me thanking them in my episode 62 of my postdoc transformation show as linked in the show notes. So here's the takeaway of my experience. Don't let the fear of being wrong cost you the time you could be winning back. Now here's your actionable prompt. Choose how you can implement the 5 steps. All right, if you are an established business owner and you want us to handle all 5 steps so you can focus on your zone of genius, our premium done for you Creating Reorganized podcasting service is designed to take the operations off your plate. Apply for a consultation in the show notes. We have a wait list. All right, so let's visualize the success you gain from implementing this 5-step strategy. Imagine your sales are coming in 24/7, 365 because your video podcast is running on autopilot. Your clients know, like, and trust you deeply. And you're finally done worrying about the AI content flood. You have future-proofed your business and reclaimed your time. And that time you reclaim leads to your ultimate return on invest, the return on intentionality. This is the ultimate fulfillment described by the self-determination theory, which says true motivation comes from satisfying your needs for, number 1, autonomy, controlling your income. Number 2, competence, mastering a new skill. And number 3, relatedness, that is by building community with your suppliers, with your clients. And I experience this joy of self-determination theory daily, and I want you to feel this too. My ultimate return on intentionality moment came when my former student and I started a collaboration to help my current students gain real-life experience with startup founders building their own business promotion video podcast. That collaboration, a project combining my academic rigor, my business knowledge, and my commitment to helping students, was only possible because my core marketing system was automated and running smoothly. And that's the life I live now. Part-time professor, I'm a successful entrepreneur, and I have time for the things that truly matter according to my vision of life. Finally, let's talk about the pain point of failure, which is continuing the old way that leads to marketing burnout. We have to talk about the mental cost of this chaos, which is rooted in the Zeigarnik effect. This psychological principle states that uncompleted tasks create an intrusive cognitive load. They stay in your memory. They're causing stress and anxiety. The content hamster wheel is literally a non-stop loop of uncompleted marketing tasks that are silently stiffening your energy. And I know this chaos well. Before I implemented the Creating Reorganized seasonal strategy, I was prone to burnout. My content creation chaos was a constant low-grade hum of anxiety. Did I finish that edit? Did I write the show notes for both shows? Is this going out this week? It wasn't about the volume of work. It was the mental load of never having closure. But knowing I had to reorganize to survive, especially prioritizing my kids, I built my system. Now, I leverage the season breaks to look back at my stats in Podbean, do my market research, and ideate new offers. Then I write all 8 episode scripts and batch record them when I'm energetic and creative, so I don't have to worry about publishing or marketing for weeks. By organizing my marketing into specific, measurable, completed projects that align with my life, I eliminated the stress stemming from the Zeigarnik effect. And now, I can proudly say I'm efficient, I'm effective in my video podcasting. That is the freedom you get when you stop letting your marketing manage you, and instead, you start managing your marketing. Thank you so much for joining me for this Season 2 finale. Remember that 20% effort that makes 80% of the difference is your unique, unAIable voice. Go define your core hook now. And don't forget to check the show notes for links to the essential tools we discussed: Podbean for hosting and monetizing, Descript for AI-powered editing, Thinkific for your premium courses, ActiveCampaign for automated lead conversion, Typeform for qualifying leads, and Metrical for social media scheduling. They all offer a free trial period, and by using my affiliate links, you will support me gifting you the Creating Reorganized and Post-Doc Transformation shows. And if you are an established business owner, ready to future-proof your business, apply for a consultation for the Creating Reorganized podcasting service. Let us build your automated sales machine for you. For the full transcript and all the resources, visit the show notes. Please give us a 5-star rating and share this episode with your small business owner besties. If you have business promotion video podcasting questions, please join our newsletter where we collect new topic ideas and keep you in the loop of Creating Reorganized. We are now taking our season break to prepare Season 3. Until then, re-listen to our 16 episodes from Season 1 and 2 as needed. Dear Creating Reorganizer, thank you for being part of our show. We wish you a happy Creating Reorganized according to your vision of life.
Do you want to start your own side business as a runway for your better future? Then you will benefit from our free business readiness quiz as linked in the show notes. Are you a small business owner and want to create sustainable marketing and sales content? Try video podcasting about your service or product, like I do in my Post-Doc Transformation show. I'm a mom of 2 kids in school and a professor, and I have no time to lose running my business. And if you also want to save time and energy, use our Dovetail Evergreen strategy. You can easily derive countless valuable social media content from just one video podcast episode. You can quickly attract a broad audience across many social media platforms and then nurture them into leads and clients in their ears and emails while you live according to your vision of life. Let me teach you Creating Reorganized. If you're ready to dive in and start your own podcasting journey, I highly recommend checking out the tools I mentioned earlier: Podbean, Descript, Typeform, ActiveCampaign, Thinkific, and Metrical. Each of these services has made my podcasting business experience smoother and more efficient, and I trust that they can help you too. Thank you for listening to our Creating Reorganized show. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, share it with your business friends, and leave a review on your favorite podcast player. Your feedback helps me as a small business owner to serve more small business owners for free, so thank you. I'm your host, Professor Dr. Eleonore Soei-Winkels, and now I wish you a happy Creating Reorganized according to your vision of life.